Welcome to the only non-financial services part of today. So we will be talking about customer experience and how an ideal customer experience should be. Sorry. So I will just make a brief introduction and then I will start the conversation about the customer experience today. So I'm from Wunder Innovation Studio. Onan is my name. I'm the design director and founder of the company. What we do is we create services, impactful services for our clients, and our focus is on product and service design, design and content production, and branding mostly. I have been working in consulting for a long time, more than 12 years, and service design. So my experience is mostly on experience design projects and digital transformation. So during my career, I have seen many times that even the most fancy services or offerings from big companies, big telcos and banks have these frictions and flaws in their customer experiences, and that they are not able to fix it very quickly, that they are not able to listen to the clients and fix those flaws quickly. I will just give you some recent examples, like take Netflix for example. The search experience of the Netflix. You all are probably familiar with that. If you are not able to find what you are going to watch in Netflix in the first 5 minutes, you get totally lost and you keep searching and searching. There are even memes on the internet that people are spending more time searching than watching a series. And a customer, for example, has solved this, and he opened the flexible.com, a better search engine than within the Netflix, and he fixed the problem for all the users. So people are using this. This became quite a hype in the US and everywhere. And he separated the movies and the TV shows and put the years and the genres there, and it's a far better search experience than Netflix has. Another example is from a local telco. Most of the telcos have put the people aspect in the background, so it's very hard to reach a real person when you call the call center. A recent example I received from a friend of mine is like, when you call the call center, the first question they ask you is, whether do you want to continue in English? So you have to press 9 to continue in English. So this friend of mine always chooses the 9 and he continues in English, and when you continue in English, you get connected to a real person. And he asked this real person, a Turkish person, in English to connect him to a Turkish representative. So it's a really nice hack. So what I'm showing here is like, we always have this intended design. So we have these services where we have this intended flow, where we want the users take the path, like in this park example. But there is this path which users are taking themselves. They are fixing the problem. They are telling us through our tickets, call centers. The key thing here is to identify these problems the users are solving. So whenever the customers are making a patch, there is an opportunity to fix the experience and also for a service idea. So at the end, it's all about the humans, their needs, expectations, their pain points, and to identify these and translate into our experience. Mm-hmm. So you can push your product until to a specific point, and you can create these aha moments with a huge marketing budget. So there is room for that, we know that. But if you don't get the context, if you are not relevant with your product and services and with your experience, then you end up in this dead valley of the products at the far right of this screen. But on the other side, a good experience, a strong value proposition, is not the text you pay for being irrelevant, but it ends up on the far right, and it finds its life in customers' lives. And you hear people saying like, I can't live without Uber, I can't do without Airbnb, I can't plan my vacations without Airbnb. So it takes its part in people's lives. So, and this is especially hard in today's world because the customers are changing also. Today they are very informed, very aware, well connected, equipped, quick, low attention span, but very selective. And they are surrounded by all these amazing services. The problem here is you might think, okay, we are mostly from financial services and we are not in the same industry with these companies. But the amazing services are putting a cap on the experience. So this raises the expectation level for all the customers. So whether you are a bank or telco, you need to compete with these companies in terms of experience. So the question here is, how do we design the best customer experience? How do we approach a customer experience project in today's world with these changing behaviors and that kind of customer profiles? So here I would like to start discussion with my colleagues here. I have Işıl and Aydıncan with me together. Maybe Işıl, we can start with you.
Sure.
How would you approach a customer experience project in today's world with these changing behaviors of a customer?
Okay, let me tell you a little bit about myself so we can all connect together because, you know, connection is very important. So I am coming from Okto People. Okto People designs 21st century's digital services with high motivation and passion. And here, I can't be more than agree with you. Putting people first is the really heart of this thing. We really need to put people first because right now the demands are really increasing with the millennials. 33% of millennials think that they will not need to use digital banking services in next 5 years. So that's why we need to really change the game,
yes, of course,
right?
yeah.
So it's very important to create customer journey maps. If we want to create a good journey, we should start mapping the experience. Those are little storytellings that actually giving us visual cues. Here we can really discover their pain points and we can discover opportunities at the same time. I'm going to give you the words soon, so let me add this as well. First, we need to create these customer journey maps, and second, we need to make sure that we choose our customers with the segmentation. We need to know them, and we need to segmentify the different customers. That way, we can really correspond their different needs. Yeah, that's all for now. Maybe I can add more later on.
Thank you. So let me introduce briefly myself also. I'm Aydıncan. I'm co-founder of Ethnogram, a service design and research company. So I think that from the research point of view,
yes.
So you want to create a great experience, a great journey for the customers. So what do? So you go ask them questions. So we have this innovation. If we invest in that solution, would you like to use it? What would people do? Say, yes, I would use it, or no, I won't. But the thing is, people don't tell the truth always, and sometimes they lie. Sometimes they unintentionally doesn't say the exact things. So we immerse ourselves into users, in customers' lives, and try to find those paths around solutions that would bring the innovation into life.
Yep.
Okay. In Turkish market especially, I would like to understand. I mean, I have been doing projects in Asia, in Europe, and so designing a good customer journey involves a comprehensive research and understanding the pain points, needs, and expectations of the target groups. But in Middle East and Turkey, there is always this perception gap of the customer. So the belief in the, research is very low here. How do you tackle this with your clients? How do you approach to this challenge in this market? Maybe.
Can you give more example? Can you specify more?
Like service design and researching includes some of, I mean, not everything is defined, right? You need to understand, you need to go and ask questions, and it is never defined what is going to come out of this.
It's
what
a
kind
vague
of
process.
Value proposition, so it's a process. And it is really hard to convince the stakeholders on the value of this. What is your view on that? I mean, in the Turkish market and maybe in the region also. Maybe you can also...
Yeah, okay, I'll start. It's a good question, actually. We've started our company as a service design company like 10 years ago in Turkey. And we go to some presentations, we meet with banks and companies, and we tell them that, so we want to design services. Everybody was looking at us like, what you're telling about. So, okay, we think, okay, maybe we started a bit too early. And so we added research to our company and telling that, so there's other ways to find the needs about your customers. And we always start working with visual stories, like we are shooting ethnographic videos of people using stuff they stuck in some processes, and we show them the actual lives of people, so people, I mean, our clients start to believe what they see. Yes.
And I might also want to add up to this. We didn't really work with banks, but we work with new age fintech companies in Turkey like Papara, Ödeal. So you know why they emerge? Because at some point, banks are not corresponding the needs of the customers. So these new fintech startups are beginning to emerging in the Turkish market. So this is our approach actually. We are offering them to find net score values. We are looking at their KPIs. We are taking their service design and analyzing it. And when we go them with the numbers, it is, you know, much more effective this way.
Yeah, that's another way.
Yes,
yeah.
yes, this is another way. So.
Yes. Actually, the whole methodology of designing customer journeys is based on coming up with insight-based outputs. So if your product and services are based on insights from the customer, if they're addressing a specific need, if it's solving a real-world problem, then you have the bigger customer numbers, then you have the bigger conversions, and everything, all your numbers are performing much better. So actually, this is a process which the startups have been doing for a long time. I mean, this is not something we see in the big corporations in the recent future, in the recent times, because the startups doesn't have all these financial powers, all these resources, so they need to test and research their value propositions. But the big corporations are learning this now, and they are looking at the startups, which are coming up with all these new good ideas, which are all insight-based, and which are all solving a problem. And the big corporations are looking at these startups and asking themselves, why are we not able to solve, come up with these ideas?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why we are seeing more innovation labs, which are empowering that kind of thinking. We are seeing more banks, more telcos who are teaching their employees think like a designer, go and ask questions, verify the assumptions, validate the designs, and then go to the market and fail fast and be more successful in the market here.
Yes.
I think we can take some questions from the audience also.
Yep.
It's a very non-financial topic, but are there any questions which you want to ask us regarding the customer journeys and the pain points? Yeah.
You mentioned that first 10 years ago when you go 10 years ago when you meet with the corporate customers and said that you're a design company, and you have give the example that you added the research before the company's name, and you have presented them the videos that are bringing up with the problems that their customers are coming with.
Yeah.
And another approach is to bring up the solution to the company, the final design through that decision people, to see that what the new solution, new design will be. So what is the best practice, or what is the best way of telling or convincing these decision people about showing the problems of the customers, or showing the final design of the new process?
I think everybody in the corporate business knows about the problems of the customers, but they're ignoring them.
That's why I asked.
Yeah.
It.
So showing the problems, that's a huge step towards the solution already. I personally do not prefer to show the solution because the capability of building a solution should stay in the corporate itself. So that's why I'm just showing the problems, not the solutions, and trying to make the corporation a bit more capable of doing as I do in my professional life.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Is it asked to all of us or just?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
If you'd like to.
Yes. I think it depends based on different clients as far as we experience. Because sometimes they don't know the problems because they were never in the field. They didn't take help from the third-party research company. So they didn't really know. And once you do user research and qualitative testing, it also gives you an idea about the future future vision. So this is also handy. But sometimes they want to see the results right away. I mean, it all depends of the different customers we have.
And when they like that result, they would like to ask that when it will be live.
Sorry? When it will be yes.
Is it possible in a month?
Yes.
Yesterday, yes.
I think we do both actually. We show what it can be. So we mostly show a vision of how the customer experience can change. And then also we try to simulate the process and show the clients examples of insights. Right? Because I think one of the major problems when a big corporation is working on a new service idea or a product idea is the assumptions of the employees who are working on this product about the existing customers. So we always believe, we look at our data, we look at our market data, and we build these assumptions, but everything is changing so rapidly. The consumer behavior, the circumstances, the habitat, the ecosystem, the connections, APIs, and everything. And it is really important to understand the context of different personas and different target segments, and design the experience according to their expectations and their habits and behaviors. And if we show I have seen the most successful projects when we demonstrate the clients how we break the assumptions. I mean, they come up with assumptions like, this segment is not very digital, they are not very mobile, but if you show it that it's 90% using mobile, then they have a different mindset and look to the product development phase from a different angle and think with you together. Yes?
Well, since you are non-financial industry people, I believe you can think out of the box. And this is one of the things that we are all getting blindsided somehow, right? And stuck with and fixated with our products and services. We fall in love with them in a way. Yes. So, but sometimes we mess it up, right? And we completely get fixated with the wrong products. And it is a completely waste. It's a waste, it's inefficiency, whatever you call it. So do you have, I don't know what you do in terms of service design. I can understand some of the points, but is it also your duty to tell those people like me, this is a completely wrong way to do it, and give it up?
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Okay.
Let me briefly explain how we do this in terms of process. So when we do research, from the research, there are hundreds of pain points, opportunity areas, and different findings which might result in a new service idea or product idea. But some of them are really good, but we don't know that yet. But some of them are really bad, so we shouldn't put any money into that. So our job as service designers, as experience designers, to tell you, to test with you together, whether an idea is going to be successful or not. We do this by quickly prototyping the ideas and testing them with the target users. And these prototypes can be in digital format. They can be like, for example, a mock-up of a mobile application. but it can also be a wearable if the idea is related to a wearable. It can be a very quick prototype of a wearable, and we do the tests with real users and try to simulate the environment and understand whether this idea is solving the saturated problem. And when we do this with quick prototypes and with real users, we see really whether the idea is good enough or whether it's going to have a market response. There are, of course, different methods than just prototyping. There are also digital landing pages, A/B tests, interviews, and all these methods which actually are called design thinking methods because they are mostly people-oriented and visual. But using these methods, we are able to quickly identify whether which ideas are going to be potentially successful and which are not.
Just to follow up on that. So, in your perspective for each one of you, what is the first thing that comes to your mind in terms of the mistake that the banks are doing in terms of their digitalization processes? Very quickly.
Okay,
First
I can tell. They try to use such a words that it's hard for end user to understand. We don't use
so it's the language problem.
Like transfer in our real lives. We use words like sending money, receiving money. We use those approach when we design Papara. So we use content strategy and really focus how people use those metaphors in their real life. So that way it was much easy for them to, put those metaphors, understand these metaphors cognitively.
Well, one single problem I'm seeing is solutions coming from top down to the customers. This bank did this solution, so we should implement this solution without asking any customers if they need it or not. And the most of the mistakes coming from that kind of race again between each other.
I think one of the biggest mistakes they are making is they are driven by their current targets and current products and services. So they are not really looking for the new value propositions, but when planning the digitalization process, they are thinking, did we digitize the loan process? Did we digitize the credit card process? Are we selling enough on the mobile application, the loans or the credit card? So with this mindset, which is focused more on their current targets, I think it is kind of damaging the digitization process. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.